All right, American's Bee here again, and today I'm making my oxalic acid sponges. So I have my Swedish sponges, the Eco Gurus. It's the original made in Sweden ones. Right now, these green ones go for $2 each, so $20 for 10, and it adds up quick. I think they got really popular with this, but because when I first started getting them, they were like $1 a piece. But anyway, so I have 50 sponges here, and I'm going to cut all of these in half, either lengthwise or widthwise. I'm thinking lengthwise. And then I have my oxalic acid, and I got this from Florida Laboratory, a 10-pound bag. I have a second 10-pound bag, depending on if I need it. And then I have some 100% pure vegetable glycerin, and then this was left over from last year. So if I remember right, I think I used 1.5 of those. I can't remember. And then this is what I'll be cooking in, just on my stove. I'm not going to turn the fan on yet, but I'll have my fan on when it's cooking. So, set you there. Should be able to see just fine. So when I'm making these, I'm going to go lengthwise. You can cut about half a stack at a time, I found. You should have some decently sharp scissors. This doesn't have to be exact either, because you'll be putting in a whole pad per colony. I'm going to do per brood box. So if I have two boxes, I'm going to put one in the middle and one on the top of the bottom, and then one whole pad, so 2 halves on the top of the bottom box, and then 2 on the top box. So unfortunately, I only have 50, and I'll probably need at least 100. So I ordered 60 more. So let's get these all cut up. Okay, doesn't take long for 50. Okay, so now I have 100 singles here, and they will fit nicely down in here, and I'll probably do 2 different batches. I tried the method of pouring it here, but when it comes to flipping them, it's a lot messier trying to flip them in here. So I will soak them in there, and then I'll probably put them in here to settle. But honestly, I think last year I tried it the first year, and it was just kind of unnecessary steps. So I think I'm just going to go straight from the pot there to the Ziploc baggies, and I put about 10 full sheets in a bag, so I'll have 5 bags out of that process there. So according to Randy Oliver's method, each pad will hold 50 grams of oxalic acid. At least that's how I understood it. It wasn't 50-50, it was 50 total. So for every 10 pads, I have 500 grams, and I have 50, so that's 5,000 grams of oxalic acid, which 5,000 grams is what, 5 kilograms? So I need to, we're going to zero tear. I always can get those too goofy. So yeah, I need 5,000, and a kilogram is 1,000, so I need 5 kilograms, which, let me actually measure this, just make sure. Yeah, so that's 3.5, and so together I got 6.5, so I'm gonna have to order some more glycerin to do those others. And again, this is 100% or just about 100% pure vegetable glycerin. All right, so that's 5,000 grams. Oh, let me do my math here. All right, well, apparently my math is off. Trying to do math on the spot, didn't even think about it. So actually it would be 2,500, not 5,000. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on low, medium heat. And basically I'm gonna heat this up, and then while I'm heating that up, I'm gonna weigh out the oxalic acid. And first, I'm going to make baking soda neutralizer. And I asked my daughter to get some baking soda, and she got the biggest box she can find. So that's all right. Let's make some solution here. Okay, so I got my it's at least a gallon of water, and I believe Randy Oliver said I think it's 5 heaping tablespoons. So I have a 2 tablespoon, and I'm probably just going to double it just to be safe. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And that should be an adequate. This is just warm water in here. I'm not worried about the scale, it's just a stand, so I don't think you got to measure the water or anything. All right, that should give us a nice neutralizer. Plenty of neutralizer for when we're done. Also in case any gets splashed or anything like that. So I'm just going to put this in the sink for now. And dry this off. And I can get rid of this now, but actually I'm not really going to do grams on here, so I'll go get my other scale. Alright, so I have my smaller scale. I'm going to put a plate on here just to be able to put the pads on nicely. So we are going to 0, and we're on grams, and then we're going to see what one. So one of those halves is about 4 grams. Nine, so depending on, so 2 is about 9. See what 2 more, 18. See another 2, see if it goes up. That was 10. 38. So 2 is about, they're about 2 or about 9 to 10 grams per 2. You gotta realize I cut these in half, so the other half is not, this one behind it's not the other half, so it might be off a little bit. So we're gonna say about 5 grams each. Let's do one from the bottom, one from the top. 10. So yeah, I'll see how much oxalic acid actually gets absorbed. So I'm gonna let that heat up. So let's measure out the oxalic acid now. I'm going to set this over here. We'll just know there's 9, so we can, or 10, so we don't really need that on anymore, but I can zero it later. This is when we get a little bit more cautious. So these are 10-pound bags, which 10 pounds, 5 kilograms is 11 pounds. You just multiply it by 2.2. Probably just dump this whole new bag in there, and then I have some old stuff that from last year that I'm going to use. Might as well just use my scissors, because using this entire bag. No need to keep the seal on there. All right, so I got just over half a kilo there, plus my full brand new bag of oxalic acid here. Oh, I gotta zero that back again. Tear 4.5, so altogether it'd be just a little over 5 kilos, which is 5,000 grams. So we can get rid of the scale now. And I think put you there, something like that. You can use a candy scale, or sorry, candy thermometer. I'm just going to use this one. And we're already 140 some degrees, so that's perfect. At least for the initial mixing. It's going to cool down a little bit. And so you just put your oxalic acid in there. And then it will be very white and milky at first. I'm going to lower my heat a little bit too, just because I don't want this to get overheated. And that, it does still get you even when it's not sublimized, that's for sure. You just want to be careful, go slow. You don't necessarily need the, you know, a mask as if you were vaporizing. Careful with it. Minimize any overfilling it too fast so you get dust. This is a lot of oxalic acid. It'd basically be enough for 100 colonies. I'm going to be selling nukes, so each nuke will be getting some as well to go with their to their new homes. And then I instruct the buyers on what it is, what it's for, how to use it. And that it's their choice whether they put them in their colony or not, or they can do some other form of treatment. But I do vaporize once the queen comes back. I try to vaporize. You just want to be really careful. You got to make sure she's laying, but you want to make sure that you catch it before they cap it. Because you don't want to do it before she really starts laying, just for the potential of causing any problems with the queen. And for, you know, a little nuke, I'd probably do about 1 gram, maybe 2. Probably 2, because I do 4 for each deep. So. All right, so just kind of slowly keep stirring, mix up the edges, and I'm just going to store this oxalic acid. It will kind of crystallize, but then you can just reheat it, and it should reheat just fine and It's only going to take a few days from Amazon to get those other pads here. So all these pads are just going to get really well soaked. I don't know if you can see that, but it's pretty milky, almost like when you are making your sugar bricks, or even like a really concentrated sugar syrup, like a 2-to-1. It's very milky, and then because I'm heating this, it will, how I know it's ready and dissolved in all the glycerin is that it will become clear. I'm just going to let that heat up and then come back. Alright, see if I can do this without blocking you. So I can definitely tell it's clearing up. Mix it up here. I feel a little bit of chunks, yeah, see, like that at the very bottom. Let's try to mash those. I can feel them down there. It's like sand, walking on sand. You can just feel it. But they'll dissolve. Probably last year I did half this because I actually measured it right, but I didn't need as many. I only did 50 last year, but this will get me 100 of the big squares, which is 200 of the halves there. So. Anyways, if you're curious what the oxalic acid solution does in the baking soda neutralizer, let me get this felt good. Watch. Look at that. And you know it's neutralized when it stops bubbling. Just put this whole thing in there because it gets everywhere. And just kind of give it a little scrub down. And that's why you keep the neutralizer, because if you get that stuff splashed on your eyes or anything like that, you're not going to be happy. And then rinse it off. And set it down. Alright, so you can see it's almost clear. I just stirred it. It was pretty much clear. There's some little bit of center on the bottom. And just about there. Alright, we're back. You can see it's all completely dissolved. And that's how you know when you're done. There's no residual. Just like 2-to-1 sugar syrup. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to dip the sponges in here until they dissolve. and yeah, I'm gonna do half and half, I think. I'm gonna go get close. All right, so get half. Put them in here. Let them absorb as much as they can. It does take a minute. We'll let them sit there for a few minutes. Alright, so I got them all dipped. I got them resting here now. There's a little bit of fluid at the bottom of that, just from it dripping, and it will kind of reabsorb as well. If you're not making as much, maybe you can find somebody who's making them, and you know, if you just have a handful of hives, this might not be the way to go. But it's a really great solution. I've had 2 years of good luck with starting with low mites and then ending with 0 to no mites, or you know, maybe one. Last year I think I just spot checked, but I got like 2 mites, 1 or 2 mites max, something like that. So not even above threshold. I do treat with Apigard Kymol treatment, just as a kicker, and then I do the winter oxalic acid vaporization, 2-3 rounds of that. So that's what they look like. You can see they're nice and saturated. I put these 2 on top because those are the 2 I'm going to weigh. 0 grams there. 2. It's 1-to-1, so 50%. So 50% of that weight is glycerin. So what that means is, you know, if you go 119, divide that by 2, that's minus, say, the 9, so that's 110. So there's 55 grams of oxalic acid in there, because it's a 1-to-1 by weight. So yeah, it's 50 per 2, so 25 for each strip, which is fine. So cool. Neutralization. Alright, well, I'm going to let these sit for a little while, let them absorb as much as they can, let the OA kind of crystallize on there. And it'll turn white, it'll kind of like recrystallize into like a slurry kind of substance. So I'll be back. Alright, I got them all bagged up. There is 10 in each one. You can see it start to get that slurry in there. I dipped them all in my base solution to clean up the outside, so hopefully, yeah, there's nothing there. It's just a little anyways, that's enough for 50 colonies. So see you next time. So yeah, can't wait. Today the bees were doing very good, and I got my boxes. I got 80 deep boxes that I'm going to use for honey supers, and I'm going to get some comb drawn out. I have about 40 nukes that are going to be made. And with those drones today, we should be really in tune for what was it, like the 11th of April. I plan to graft. I might push it up sooner, but I really want to check the colonies tomorrow before I even make that decision, just because you don't want to push it and then make a colony weak because you got nukes to make, and then you take too much bees and brood and really slow that queen down. So, and especially since I don't have drawn comb to put in there to replace the frames I'm going to be removing. They're going to have foundations, which they're not going to have any problems drawing out. But especially once about mid-April come around and start doing cherry pollination, that kind of stuff, they're going to really start drawing out. I might, no, I'm going to wait. But I was thinking about maybe putting foundation. I got to put my got 1,000 frames to build. I got to finish painting these boxes. I got one more coat put on the top, and then they're pretty much done. So I'm going to go finish that now. See ya. Have a great day. Americans Bee.